Hello and welcome to Everything to Guppy, the Binding of Isaac podcast that covers every chapter in the Binding of Isaac series of video games. My name is Gary Butterfield, and with me as always is a legendary fan of debasement, Will Hughes.
Punish me, Daddy.
Will do. I'm actually sick of that joke now,
Yeah.
which is a good time to throw it back at me.
Yeah.
just giving you some ammunition there.
Sure. Carafun.com.
Yep.
Gary, we're doing something new this week.
Brand new. I made a motion, baby.
And I liked the notion of that motion.
The notion of the motion. Do the notion motion with me.
I second that emotion.
Because I felt like it's time to introduce another third to our Sundays.
Yes.
And another third to our couplehood.
Ooh.
Time for Thruple. Thruple Town.
I hope it's Cole.
Yeah. Like the Cole, Will, Gary polycule.
I feel like that would... Boy, I'm trying to figure out who could be added to our polycule to like balance our energy out. And I think it's Levi.
Oh man, Levi would do a lot of work.
God, Levi would be such a daddy in that.
Yeah, Levi would calm us down pretty good. It would also make work less awkward. Like if Cole joined our throuple, like I'd make recording with him a little bit weird.
Sure.
But Levi.
Yeah.
Like that guy's like, he's the most grown up friend I have.
Yeah. Oh,
you know?
Shit, Gary. No, I would bully Andrew too much.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't get sweet dear law dog into this.
The
it's the law
dog.
puppy. The law puppy can't enter this. Levi is so adult that he has a whiteboard that has a list of all the beverages he has available for his guests.
That's amazing.
Yeah. You go in and you're just like, oh, cool. Here are all the varieties of tea I could drink if I wanted to.
Oh, wow. He's got tea on it.
Mm-hmm.
Gary, it's Chapter Sunday.
Chapter. 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 Indeed it is.
Super excited to find out what TV theme song I used as the basis for that one.
I don't know it yet either. And today we're talking about the basement and the cellar.
Yeah, we're a couple basement and cellar fellers.
Yep.
Okay. Gary, this is your bad idea. How you want to leave this off?
Well, here, I was just kind of thinking, later there are kind of some more things to consider. But I was thinking that this would be a good time to talk about, the achievements you get for beating these things. Kind of, the difference between the cellar and the basement specifically. And then, like, things to keep in mind on the first floor.
Yeah, so we're talking about Chapter 1 of the game, which has actually 3 variations.
Yes.
The basement, which is the one that is the default that you start with.
Yep.
The cellar, which you unlock after a little bit of time with the game.
Yep. You had to beat every boss in the basement.
Yeah, which, given that there's a pretty wide variety of those, will take you a while to do.
Yes.
And then the burning basement, which was added in the Afterbirth DLC.
Yes.
And which is unlocked by beating Mom's Heart 11 times, which means you will not see that until pretty far into your time with the game.
Yeah. So I like those little changes that make things dynamic. Let's talk about the different versions. So basement, pretty normal.
Yeah, this is the default Binding of Isaac environment. Like, there's a reason this is like the background on the wiki and stuff.
Yep. Lots of rocks. I don't think there are pits in the basement.
I think there are some, aren't there?
Some pits. I think, pits can happen, but like lots of rocks, lots of poops. That happen here. No other like special thing, and relatively small.
Yeah, the floors in the basement tend to be maybe 10 to 12 rooms, something like that. There's a reason that it is not an onerous task to finish the first floor of the basement in a minute in order to get the Forgotten.
I think it tends to be significantly less than 12. Like I think like the basement, like a lot of times is like 7 rooms. Like it's pretty short. And yeah, not onerous, pretty easy. You want this. Cellar, legitimately gets like, I think is like a meaningful upgrade.
Yeah.
In difficulty.
The big thing with the cellar is that instead of having flies as one of its default enemies, it has spiders.
Yes. And just a significant, just like a big upgrade in monsters that you can have. Like the spiders are the big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to get some like later monsters just kind of from that in general.
It's a big pool that it can pull from.
like the psychic horfs.
Yeah.
Those like those floating heads that are stationary, or like
conjoined fatty can show up in here. Conjoined fatty's a nasty enemy.
Yeah, conjoined fatty's like super nasty. You can get and all of the kind of, I feel like, and this is anecdotal, but I feel like the enemies that are the harder ones show up more often.
I would say that's true.
Yeah. So you get like the black like Globin heads, the black Globin bodies, things like that. Just kind of like nastier, upgraded versions of enemies.
Yeah. So in general, this is probably the first uptick in difficulty you're going to hit in the game, I imagine.
Well, other than just getting to like the
sure, but I mean like
caves.
things like the game changes to make itself harder.
Yes.
Which we've never really talked about, but Isaac gets harder the more you play it.
Yeah.
There's a couple points where it straight up tells you, "Hey, we're turning up the difficulty."
Yep. Everything is terrible. Everything just got harder. And I think that's cool. Like, it's not something you see a lot in roguelikes. Like usually they do that through just different goals. Not kind of like a blanket effect of increasing, more of the randomness, like more of the possibility space for nastiness. The burning basement is like the regular basement, except there are lots of fires everywhere. And weirdly, this ends up being kind of an advantage.
Yeah, because enemies are burnt by fire.
Enemies are burnt by fire, and the fire tends to replace rocks. So you'll see room layouts. Like there are thousands and thousands of rooms in The Binding of Isaac. But you play it enough, you'll start recognizing them. And you'll see a room where it's like, okay, here's some money behind a wall of rocks. But because it's the burning basement, 3 of those rocks have been replaced by fires.
Yeah, so if you're not paying attention, you can walk into them and take damage. But
You can. But you can also put them out and go get those coins.
Yeah, not unlike the members of Backdraft.
Yes, like the Backdrafts.
The Backdraft boys.
The Backdraft boys. I've never seen Backdraft.
Either, I think Ray Liotta's in it.
It's about some kind of fire.
It is. I mean, Backdraft is where like you open a door, and it like pulls the air towards you and explodes.
Yeah,
it's ill-advised to be caught in the Backdraft, Gary.
I've heard that. Is it ill-advised to have your bank issue you a Backdraft?
It is, Gary. That's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Backdraft also could be a euphemism for farting. Like a draft coming from your back?
Sure.
Draft as in like a drafty house, except in this case it's stomach gases.
Mm-hmm. I'm having some weird fart issues.
Tell me more.
Where they get right up to the line. Like everyone goes and hangs out in the entryway.
Sure. Does it feel, I'm going to just start by asking a personal question.
Sure.
Does it feel like they're in danger? What?
They're going to say good. Good. Does it feel good?
Does it feel, hey Gary?
Yeah?
When you do these near farts, does it feel good?
They're more like near automata farts.
So
I have to do it 10 times to get the good ending.
I was just say, they seem fun at first, then they don't seem fun, then they get meaningful.
Yeah, they are extremely meaningful farts. And they're
Gary, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What's the most important fart you've ever done?
It's a good question. I would say probably the first fart in any kind of relationship. The first public.
Fart.
The first. When you cross that barrier. That fart barrier?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Which I have not done with my current girlfriend.
Neither
I've been dating for more than a year.
I've been dating mine for like 4 years.
Really?
I will fart in the car with her, but if it is a loud fart, I will not do it.
Interesting.
Huh. Yeah, I would say the most important fart of my life was probably when I was in concert band in high school, and I was playing tuba.
Sure.
And the whole orchestra was going. I was like, wait a second, I could just fart and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like that freedom was very powerful for me because I spent a lot of high school not farting.
Yeah, me too.
Like being very careful, like having like pretty, like the same like stomach shit I have now.
Yeah.
But just being too ashamed to fart.
Yeah. Have you, I found that lesson at a concert at some point.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Like, no one will ever pin this on me.
Yeah. Fish will
never know. No court
know.
would convict me.
Fish will never know.
No, Trey's a bro and he's not going to know that I farted and crop dusted his jam.
Hey, everybody, we're stopping the song. Hey, I know we were only...
Got a jaboo? Yeah, you got a jaboo? Oh, wait. Everybody, I smell something.
I smell something. Hands up. All right.
Who put the sample in the jar?
Who put the bang in the shebangity bangity bang?
Who put this geezer in the freezer? AKA farted. Those are all the Fish songs I know.
Yeah, more than I did. I went to Greece.
Yeah, my Fish. Speaking of grease, in terms of farts.
You know what they don't tell you when you buy like a nice like navy pea coat kind of thing?
What's that?
Amazing fart catcher.
Oh, sure.
I will fart while I'm wearing my like nice winter coat.
Yeah.
And I will sit down 5 minutes later and I will catch some.
Like a diving bell.
Exactly. Or a butterfly.
Or like a butterfly. Okay, here's a question for you. Let's say I'm a wishmaster.
Be my butterfly. Kiss him,
You're Butterfield. And you could choose either for the rest of your life, your farts will either be very smelly but always silent, or very loud but not smelly at all. Which would you choose?
Loud.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Me too.
Because that's less offensive to other human beings.
I really don't care about the noise so much. Like, it's just I don't want to smell like ripped ass like in public.
Like I like most people, I don't unenjoy the smell of my own farts. I find it kind of amusing and interesting.
Sure.
Is that an insane thing to say?
No. I think when you enjoy, I think that, because that's a cliche, and I think when people say enjoy, I think that's the thing that trips people up on that. Because you're not smelling it like you're smelling like, baked on French onion soup. You're not like, oh yeah.
I mean, that depends on if I've been eating a lot of French onion soup, Gary.
That's true. For me, my enjoyment is just like, whoa, man. And then I'm like, ugh. And it's just kind of funny because it's a lot.
I like it a little bit. I like the smell a little bit.
Okay.
Gary, I'm being super vulnerable with you right now.
You are. I'm not calling you out on that. I don't think it's that weird. I've heard that before. But for me, it's more of just like a whoa.
But I don't want anybody else to smell it.
No. Just for me. Yeah. My secret.
Besides, maybe I could get like, maybe Fish is hiring.
Yeah.
So I get like that really like, I've been listening to a lot of Five Iron Frenzy, which is a Christian ska band that broke up in the early 2000s.
Sure.
They got some trombones in there.
No. So at some point I might take you under my wing and teach you about music.
What?
Nothing.
The basement is like the least metaphor. Like, I'm going to give a little bit of lore here, Gary.
Oh man, the preview for Lore Sundays way down the pike.
Yeah, the basement is almost rational in terms of like the plot of this game. Like, Isaac goes and hides in the basement, and then it turns out the basement is way too big and full of monsters.
Yes.
But we are not in abstract locations yet.
And even the next thing where it connects to a system of caves, sure.
Yeah.
But it gets more stretchy as you go.
Yeah.
Until eventually just there's no connection. But early on, like when you're in a basement, and that did a lot for me first playing this game, where I was like, oh, I'm like this little kid exploring a basement. Like having that layer of reality helped onboard me.
Yeah, that was your very own onboarding week.
It was my very own personal onboarding. If people like this show, go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv, fart out a guppy bump, put it in our e-wallet.
Gary, I just got so tired.
Yeah.
I know we're right at the end, but it really...
I stopped doing the bit.
I know.
What more do you want?
That's like saying, I put the radioactive material away.
I did. Now you just have to take the, eat the sodium capsules or whatever, the shit that makes you less radioactive.
I stopped poking you with my radioactive umbrella.
Yeah, and now you're just fine.
That guy died as bad as anyone's ever died.
He did die pretty bad.
Gary, you want to review?
I think I do.
It's a long one.
Okay.
And I think it might be kind of sincere.
Aw.
All right. This is a 5-star review from Young Beatty. They put this out on Christmas Eve, so.
Aw.
Cool. An Ouroboros of darkness and cackling. You know how when people who are way into Hollywood handbook say you just have to settle into the rhythm of two good friends keeping each other entertained through violence and weird asides that extend into absurdity, and then one day you've realized that it clicked with you long ago and you can never go back to the world where you weren't always in love with it? Everything To Guppy is like that, but way better, and with some wiki entries for Binding of Isaac sprinkled in on occasion. At once insular and welcoming, pitch black and joyous, disgusting and wholesome, let these good boys squeak their way into your heart.
That's very nice.
It's really sweet.
Yeah, I like that.
I can't listen to Hollywood Handbook. Seems like it'd be tiresome.
I never have. When those guys guested on stuff, I thought they were funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just, don't commute anymore. Don't listen to podcasts as much as I used to.
Gary, what do you feel like we learned this week?
Boy, I learned a lot about snacks. I don't know about you.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I learned about Gary Butterfield's putt nuffs.
Yeah. Well, they're called nut puffs.
Sure.
Puff nuts. And they're delicious.
Wait, are they really called puff nuts?
I forgot now because I no longer have the page up. And I finished the bag today, so I threw them away.
Shit.
Nuffer putts? Puffer nuts? Nutter puffs? Nutter puffs. There we go.
Because you were just calling them puff nuts.
No, yeah, nutter puffs is what they're called.
Puff nuts is not a brand.
Yeah, no, puff nuts is incorrect. If you go to spoonuniversity.com/lifestyle, Rebecca Stillman of the Johnson & Wales University wrote, I tried Pop Chips Nutter Puffs and these were my thoughts, as a blog entry. So,
oh boy, Gary, we've come once again to the end of that long and winding road.
On onboarding week.
Yeah, I would say we managed to achieve 88 miles per laughter.
8 miles per laughter, and managed to stop Biff from touching her mom's tit.
Oh man, I've been watching Legends of Tomorrow.
Sure.
A lot of Tom Wilson in that. He's good in it.
Interesting.
And they get him to play the guitar too, which he's like a musician. So
yeah, that's interesting.
You ever heard him do that "Stop Asking Me the Questions" song?
Yep,
it's pretty good.
Yep, I saw him do that live.
Yeah,
yeah. He opened for a comedian, but I can't remember. I want to say that was Gilbert Gottfried, which is real weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's actually true, but I know I have a memory very distinctly of seeing him do that song live.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like, if there's a takeaway for this week, it's that Tom Wilson seems like he's pretty fun.
He does seem really fun. Also, the news is always holding Huey Lewis back.
Gosh, Gary, I feel like the news is the one that's like, I love
the real talent.
The news is like the Edge, right? It's a person.
I think the news is a collection of people.
Oh, like Fish.
Yes. Like Fish, like a bunch of trays.
One of these days, Gary, I'm going to have to teach you about music.
Do you think that in an airplane where they say, put your tray in its upright position, Trey Anastasio ever looks around like...
Yeah, he does like the Tony Hawk thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that happened. That is, in fact, my name.
That is my name. No one is talking to you, sir. Go back to your pit.
Tony Hawk just like hides in bushes waiting for people to say, huh, Tony Hawk. Did someone, huh?
Pops out to tweet about it immediately.
Yeah.
I saw somebody on Facebook Animal Group whose cat was named Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, which I think is a funny name for a cat.
That's a pretty good name for a cat.
I like it. Anywho,
hey,
make
Gary?
a new Tony Hawk game.
Yeah, Gary?
Yeah.
Save it.
Save it!
Good week.
Good week. Great week. It felt like 2 hours, but it was really only an hour and 11 minutes.
Yeah.
When I'm flying in a plane or I'm on the street, there's a lot of friendly people that I like to meet. They shake my hand but never ask my name, and they start asking questions that are always the same. Hey, what's Michael J. Fox like? He's nice. What's Christopher Lloyd like? Kinda quiet. What's Crispin Glover like? Unusual. Stop asking me the question.